24 hours removed from the greatest Survivor Series that I've ever seen, and 24 hours removed from what we knew all along, that Monday Night Raw is, always, and will be the real A show of WWE. What would the fallout be like? We're about to find out. Hello, friends, and welcome to Ridiculously Raw. Of course, if it's Monday night, we say yeah, for it's Ridiculously Raw. And of course, we're still saying yeah after what happened last night at Survivor Series, when Monday Night Raw proved to the whole world, including those who follow SmackDown Live, well, proved that they are, without a shadow of a doubt, the A show. Yes, the champions were better. I will give them that. But overall, Raw was the first to four, and the first to four got the bragging rights. So, all right, I wanted to get that little moment of bragging rights out of the way. We got business at hand. Big business. Ho, ho, ho. Man alive. I mean, the fallout from Survivor Series, and Monday Night Raw does not have a pay per view next month, and we're not going to see them on pay per view until the Royal Rumble. So, for the next couple of months, we're going to be pushing towards the Rumble. Well, the final pay per view of the year, of course, belongs to SmackDown Live, and they'll start their road to that tomorrow. But right now, ridiculously raw here and now, your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Floyo here, along with the leader of Team SmackDown Live, probably still licking his wounds from last night. Good old MF Michael Fletcher. No hard feelings, MF, but nonetheless, we're here and we're ready to go. And our other partner, the Phenom Michael Bullock, will be coming in a little bit late. And as soon as he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed, like we always do. So, of course, the show will have cutouts. That's a given. And then, of course, I'll have my reviews of 205 Live and Impact Wrestling as well, and my Tony's take at the end. So, Thanksgiving week, let's get into it. Of course, Monday Night Raw live tonight. WWE for the third night in a row from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas, coming off a very good weekend with an epic takeover War Games on Saturday night, Survivor Series last night, Raw tonight, and then of course SmackDown Live will wrap it up tomorrow. But let's start it off. Started off with an in-ring segment. Commissioner Stephanie McMahon out to gloat the victory for Raw, of course. She brings out her husband Triple H. We're thinking, okay, it's probably going to be another one of those authority gloating segments that we've known to love for the last few years. Oh no. It got down to business. General Manager Kurt Angle, he came out, got in Hunter's face. Stephanie backed off, told him to back off. He said, your job is safe by virtue of the win. And then from there, it wasn't done. We had more to the party. Jason Jordan got in Hunter's face, and he wanted a match with Hunter. But then Stephanie told Jordan, hey, with the way my husband's feeling right now, he would destroy you. He ain't afraid of anybody. That wasn't until Braun Strowman showed up. Chaos, which is all I can say, was chaos. And then Stephanie booked a match. Jason Jordan, Braun Strowman. Oof. I gotta say, this was the second best segment of the night here. There was one I thought better. Nice to see Kurt stand up for himself for a change rather than acting like a guy who will do anything to keep his job. Should have happened sooner, but at least it happened. Good segment, despite what happened last night. That traditional Survivor Series match, which we all thought was going to be the greatest one and the most epic of all. Oh boy, still trying to get the bad taste out of that mouth. Still cannot believe how that match turned out. So disappointing. But yet, they did not have Hunter speak. They did not have Hunter address his actions. Maybe that's for the best since they're fairly self explanatory, despite the face that Hunter helping Shane eliminate Angle seemed to confuse the crowd in a moment. And also nice to hear Corey Graves actually stand up for SmackDown in that 4-3 is hardly decimation. Yes, it is. I'll admit it was hardly decimation. But of course, Raw did win the top champion match. and both traditional Survivor Series elimination matches. So it will be interesting if some effort is made to boost SmackDown Live. Of course, we won't find that out until tomorrow night. So that's all I can say there. Second best segment of the night. Good chaos there. Triple H is going to eventually go up against all these guys eventually. But don't count on Angle right away. I mean, the plan is WrestleMania for those two, which will be epic, to say the least. Strowman, maybe the Rumble. I don't know. Jordan, I could see on a future episode of Raw. So, just my thoughts. So that's all I can say there. Second best segment of the night. So, good LMF, Michael Fletcher, come on in. I'm sure you've recovered from last night. I know you're still licking the battle scars from last night. Coming up just a little bit short, but hey, props to SmackDown Live. One hell of a fight. No hard feelings, man. No hard feelings.
Yeah, no hard feelings. And basically, if you really think about it, okay, Raw won 4-3, but what was the thing that Stephanie McMahon was preaching for? Complete and utter domination? You didn't get it. You just barely won the Survivor Series. You won 4-3. Okay, Raw wins. But again, I said it last night. When it mattered the most, the real one-on-one confrontations, the Battle of the Champions, SmackDown won it 3-1. So basically, yes, you won. Yes, you won the so-called battle, but trust me, my friend, the war is far from over. And even for now, Raw did win, and we'll give you that. But trust me, this is not over by a long shot. There'll be another time when SmackDown and Raw goes to war again, and maybe that night the results will be a lot more different. Just saying. Now, as far as the jump off of Raw, this was as good as you could do. You know, Stephanie McMahon coming out, basically iterating that, Angle's safe. He led the team to victory, which was the mandate that she wanted. Even though she was bragging for total domination, I think everybody in the room will openly admit it wasn't total domination. SmackDown definitely gave Raw a fight, and I'm a little surprised that she didn't punish the guys who lost on Raw tonight. I'm surprised she didn't punish The Bar, The Miz, and especially Alexa Bliss for losing their matches last night. I'm a little surprised I didn't see no punishment from them yet. Well, maybe I gotta hold off because maybe sometime down the line we might see the punishment come. But I gotta say, this was a very interesting dilemma. Then, okay, I get it. Jason Jordan wants to come out because he felt like he got embarrassed by Triple H. He got pedigreed, and that cost him the spot on Monday Night Raw. And, Triple H weaseled his way into the spot. Okay, I get it. No problem. Angle's definitely got a gripe with Triple H for getting pedigreed in the middle of the ring last night during the Survivor Series matchup, causing that dilemma, that drama that I was alluding to between Raw and SmackDown. How there was a lot of dissension among the ranks on Monday Night Raw. You got that going. Then Braun Strowman shows up, and you know why Strowman's out there. Strowman's out there because he's pissed off at Triple H for basically being a turncoat. He thought that, hey, what the hell are you doing? Why are you attacking Kurt Angle? Aren't you on our team or aren't you not on our team? And you know what? Screw you. I'm not here to deal with your crap. I'm not here for anything else. I'm a red guy. I'm not here for this corporate BS that you're spewing around. Here's a couple of power slams for you. You ever mess with get in my business ever again, I'm going to roar your ass all over the goddamn place. So, that's Braun Strowman for you. The monster among men just took down the King of Kings and humbled him last night. So much so that Triple H didn't even know what the hell he was doing last night. If you guys have seen the video on social media, him basically doing a Ric Flair, collapsing in the middle of the ring, then basically banging his head up against that staging, basically still doesn't even know what the hell was going on, what hit him. So for Stephanie to announce Jason Jordan versus Braun Strowman, very shrewd move on her part because of the fact that A, you're protecting your husband, B, you're probably thinking, great, you destroy one major threat by getting Jason Jordan out of the way. That's one less person to go after Triple H, and then you just deal with the business as usual on Monday Night Raw. So, I mean, all right, granted, I wasn't really looking too forward for Jason Jordan versus Braun Strowman. I think we all know how that would play out. But at the end of the day, solid enough. Great way to start Raw. Florio, it's yours.
All right, let's get into our first match of the night. It was the Demon, Finn Balor, squaring off against the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. Winner of the match in 12 minutes and 10 seconds. Samoa Joe, he wins it with the Coquina clutch, made Finn Balor pass out. MF, I know how high you are on these guys, especially Joe from his TNA days. Did they deliver here? I think they did.
I think this was the second best fight of the night. No doubt about it in my eyes. I mean, this was a great match, solid fight, back and forth. But, I feel bad for Finn Balor, man. How do you do him like that? I mean, okay, he was one of the first guys eliminated last night at the Survivor Series, which got a lot of people upset on social media. And now he jobs out to Joe. I mean, don't get me wrong, Samoa Joe is a monster in himself. But, I mean, my God. I mean, I don't even know what to say right now. I think right now, I love the body of work of both guys. They both had this was a great match, no doubt about it. To me, second best fight of the night. There was one fight that was even better than this, and we'll get into that a little bit later on this evening. I could give this a solid 3.5 stars. I think this was a very solid fight. I love the story of it. It makes Joe look stronger, and I wonder what they're going to do with Joe. But on the hindsight, what happens to Balor now? I'm really concerned that, I'm concerned about the direction that they're going with the Demons, Finn Balor. I don't know what they're doing with him at this very moment. So, Anthony, it's yours.
3 to 3.25 stars for my rating. I definitely agree. Second best fight of the night. A competitive match despite the submission win for Joe. They work well together, and it'll be interesting to see if they keep the program going by having Balor avenge the loss, or if the idea was to give Joe a clean win and move him into a new program down the road. Very, very possible. So, really nothing more to say on that. So, 3 to 3.25 stars. It was for me and for MF. It was the second best fight of the night. Absolutely, you got that right, MF, no doubt. So. Okay, now it's time for cutouts here. So MF, just hang tight for a moment. Well, one cutout at least for now. Asuka, the sole survivor of the Raw women's team last night, leading the Raw women's team to victory last night at Survivor Series. And the sole survivor was in action against, well, someone she took umbrage to last week, of course, Dana Brooke. I mean, you remember Dana Brooke got in Asuka's face and paid for it, and Dana obviously demanded a match with Asuka. She got it. Oh, Dana, what are you doing, darling? What are you doing? That's all I can say there. I know MF's probably asking the same thing, and I know how high MF is on Dana Brooke. Well, yeah, how'd that work out? Didn't work out. Asuka squashed her 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Obviously, this is a no rating to a dud. I mean, it was basically what it was. I mean, it was an Oscar squash. That's all there is to it. So we're just gonna move on from that. Now we're going back into the relevant stuff here. Miz TV segment. It was supposed to be, well, Miz's guest was supposed to be Roman Reigns by himself. No, he got Roman all right, but Roman didn't come alone. He had his brothers, his Shield brothers, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, and these guys just had an epic back and forth. To me, this was the segment of the night. I mean, man, some of the jabs these guys took at each other were just amazing, and Rollins and Ambrose declaring that at some point they're going to invoke their rematch clause. Because remember, they do have a rematch clause after losing the Raw Tag Team Championships 2 weeks ago to the Bar in England, and they definitely have a legitimate gripe for that. That's a future Raw waiting to happen, and they're like, okay, and Miz was like, okay, you guys can go after the tag team titles in the Bar, but what about Roman? And I was like, hey, you got a nice belt over there. You got that Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship belt over there. I'd love a shot at it. And Miz was like, no, you don't deserve a shot. You know, the usual typical stuff. Well, actually, it was Bo Dallas who said, hey, if you want a shot at Miz, you got to go through me and Axel. Yeah, Shield did that all right. They took care of him. No doubt about it. So Reigns laid out the challenge, and Kurt Angle agreed. And it was announced that in the main event of Raw tonight, The Miz would defend the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship against Roman Reigns. We'll let you know how that turned out at the end, but for right now, like I said, this was the segment of the night. I mean, really good. I mean, and hey, the crowd for once was actually behind Roman. You didn't hear any boos for Roman like we're so used to. I mean, I know there are those who didn't really like the idea of Reigns going after the IC title. Maybe it's a little bit beneath Roman considering where he is now in terms of main event status. But I think it's a good idea. I mean, give him something to do until eventually until WrestleMania 34 when on that night we all know what's going to happen. He's gonna go up against Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, and he's gonna win that Universal Championship. So give him something to do, to wait until then. I mean, we'll find out what happens, like I said. So I'm for it. And like I said, this was a really good back and forth segment, and it definitely is going to set up a Shield and Miz Taraj feud at some point. And like I said, crowd was pro Reigns, despite some actually chanting for Miz at one point. So very good back and forth segment. I loved it. This was the segment of the night, no doubt about it. So, MF, your thought on this Miz TV segment here with the Shield, and we got ourselves a nice title fight tonight. How about it?
Well, first off, you absolutely hit the nail on the head. Fight of the night. Well, I should say segment of the night. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. But no, this was a solid segment. This was everything that you wanted it to be. I love the fact how The Miz tried to play on the Shield about how it was him kind of responsible for the Shield to get back together after all the beatdowns and the whole 9 yards. And now you're kind of getting a little bit of the war between, and Roman's like, you know what? Fine. I mean, if my boys, Rollins and Ambrose are saying that they want to win back the WWE Tag Team Championship, I need, what? Maybe I should go after a belt, And at first you're thinking, oh God, maybe he challenges Brock Lesnar again, goes for the Universal title, and fans are not going to have that. I think to have him go after the Intercontinental Championship is actually a better thing, because then people are thinking, okay, at least for now, Brock will not have to deal with, at least we won't have to deal with Roman going after the big belt, going after the Universal title, because it's only going to be a matter of time before that happens. But to possibly put the IC title on him, at least that'll give him something to do for the time being. I like that. And I think that's why the fans were like, yes, 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 yes. On top of it, this, I think, was Miz's punishment for losing to Baron Corbin last night at Survivor Series. So I think you kill two birds with one stone. Give Roman Reigns, the so-called guy, give him a secondary title, because he doesn't need the big belt yet. He doesn't need it right now. If you want to promote Lesnar versus Roman at WrestleMania, be my guest. Whatever. I don't give a damn. But for now, let Roman has this IC title. If he wins it, let him have a run at the belt. Give him an opportunity. If he wins it, great. He's the Intercontinental Champion. There's no threat to the world title for a while. And I think the fans will definitely preach on that as well. Now, if you're the Miz, obviously, you're asking for thank yous and everything else and whatnot. And I love the fact how the Shield belittled them, saying, you know what? We won our fight last night at Survivor Series. We beat the New Day and solidified ourselves as the best stable in WWE. What did you do? You lost to the Lone Wolf, to the United States heavyweight champion, who, oh, by the way, is on the enemy. SmackDown Live. Yeah. Everybody was saying how Miz was awesome. I think we should be saying Miz is awful, because how on earth do you get him to lose to the Lone Wolf Baron Corbin? For Corbin, this is without a doubt the feather in the cap of what was definitely an up-down year for the Lone Wolf. And we'll get into him tomorrow night on Cerebral Smack Talk. But whatever the case may be, this was definitely the segment of the night. Everybody played their roles perfectly. And I'll also give a lot of credit to Bo Dallas for stepping up and being the man to say, hey, to get to the Miz, you got to get through us. Even though that was a bad idea, I love that they actually gave him some face time. Good for him on that, too. So, nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
Well, MF, keep your mic on, I was going to say, because we have another match here. You could consider this somewhat of a 2-for-1 segment here, because, Ambrose and Rollins were still out there, because Dean Ambrose was in a one-on-one match with the Celtic Warrior Sheamus along with Cesaro. Ambrose versus Sheamus, the match, and the winner of the match in 11 minutes and 40 seconds. Dean Ambrose wins it with the Dirty Deeds. So, MF, it's definitely looking like we're going to get another Bar and Ambrose and Rollins tag title feud down the line here.
Only fitting, because right now the only two teams that seems legitimate on Monday Night Raw, I'm sorry to say, are the Bar, the Shield, Ambrose and Rollins. However, as far as the more superior team in WWE, I think we can all admit now, Anthony Florio, that it's on the Blue brand. It's on SmackDown Live with the Usos after their victory last night. Now, as far as the match goes, solid fight. I could give this about 2.5, 2 3/4. Third best fight of the night. Solid match. I love the body of work. Everybody got involved. And, there was some craziness outside the ring. There was some craziness inside the ring. People trying to get involved, But I love the ending. The ending was solid. It gives the Shield some momentum. It gives them that argument, like you said, for a future title shot down the line. Unfortunately, well, you could do it at Clash of Champions on December 17th.
No, they can't, MF, because Clash of Champions is officially a SmackDown Live exclusive event.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected. I thought this was a Raw event. All right, I stand corrected. All right, so no, there's no other event unless unless you want to do it on the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw, which is very possible. You could do that, or do you wait all the way till, or will you have to wait till the Royal Rumble to do the fight? Because then you got a dilemma now. Because, oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. Isn't there supposed to be 2 big shows? Now, I know there's a lot of heat about the shows, but there is a Christmas night show. There's a New Year's Day show that WWE could do. Do you pull the trigger on that night? I mean, there's a lot of opportunities where the Shield and the Bar will face off, but I will say this. This is going to be very interesting to watch. And I know after the results of tonight, I think the Shield would definitely love to get an opportunity at the tag team titles. So we'll wait. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head on everything, MF. Yes, as a Raw guy, I will admit the Usos are the best tag team in WWE today, proving so last night in that very good match with the Bar and the Usos. They delivered. That was definitely a solid 4-star match, as we all know. Third best fight of the night overall, only behind Shield and New Day, and of course the match that stole the show, AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar. But anywho, third best fight of the night. I agree. Disagree a little bit about the rating, though. I think you a little bit underscored it. I still think this was a solid 3-star match. Yeah, 2 3-star matches, but I think the first one was better. But good effort from both men. A little bit of a disconnect moment for me when they announced the latest meaningless singles match involving these 2 teams. Now, as far as when we could see this eventual tag team title fight down the road, I don't see them waiting until the Rumble. I really don't. I mean, that's 2 months away. But then again, so is the 25th anniversary of Raw in Brooklyn and in Manhattan. I don't see it happening there. They could do it on New Year's night. That's a possibility. Start 2018 off with a bang, or give us fans a little stocking stuffer on Christmas night, because yes, there will be a live Monday Night Raw on Christmas night. But if I'm going to be really honest with you, MF, one day that really comes to mind for me, I know they're not going to do it because they hardly give us what we want, but if we had it our way, if you're going to do a tag team title fight between these 2 teams again, why don't you do it right here in our neck of the woods on December the 18th? Why don't you give us a little stocking stuffer on that night when Raw comes to the Dunkin' Donuts Center right here in Providence, Rhode Island? Why don't you do it then? You do that. You make me happy. You make MF happy, even though he's a SmackDown guy. And you would also make Bullock happy, even though he's also a SmackDown guy. But what a treat for us. It would be awesome if we could get a championship match at the Dunk on December the 18th when Raw comes here. So that's just my little thought on that. So they probably won't, but you never know. So 3-star fight, though. I mean, third best fight of the night. Absolutely spot on about everything. So, okay. Now, interesting stuff happens here. Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss coming out. Bashes the fans, of course. She had to address herself after losing to Charlotte Flair last night. Humiliating. But, it is what it is. And then she basically gloats about how there's not a woman out there who can hold a candle to me. Well, then she gets interrupted by Mickie James. She gets interrupted by Bayley. She gets interrupted by Sasha Banks and Alicia Fox. No Nia Jax, which I thought was rather of a surprise. But we're not going to really get into this segment. I'm going to consider this a bit of a cutout segment here. I mean, the dialogue in the segment was painfully bad. The delivery wasn't very good either in some cases. But it's hard to blame the women given the piss poor material they had to work with. And so Kurt Angle comes out and makes a fatal four-way match with Bayley, Sasha, Mickey, and Alicia. The winner would, of course, get a future Raw Women's title match against Alexa Bliss. Well, about that. We don't have a number one contender because the fight ended in a no contest. Why did it end in a no contest?
Why, Florio?
Oh, you want to know why, MF? I'll tell you why.
Why?
Well, let's just say a certain naughty little minx from Norwich, England, decided to stick her nose where it didn't belong, in the form of, yes, Paige is back. The beauty from Norwich, England, or as MF likes to call her, the naughty little minx from Norwich, England. Paige is back, but she didn't come alone. Oh no. She had some friends with her. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Woo-hoo. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville from NXT. And they basically take out everybody, including Alexa Bliss, in a backstage segment. Okay. MF, I mean, I said we were going to redress this on the show. And we're going to do that right here and right now. And we're starting it off with you, my man. I mean, what do you think? Paige is back and she's got some backup. Sonya Deville and, Mandy Rose.
I can already tell. The minute Mandy Rose showed up, I kind of had an inkling that I think Florio is about to claim this one. No doubt about it. You just proved my point, and you kind of confirmed my suspicions on that one. So, just for you guys to know, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, both was on Tough Enough a few years ago. Mandy Rose actually was the runner-up in the women's side. And, of course, Sonya Deville made a nice little run. And she was also on Tough Enough. And I think she was a part of the Mae Young Classic, if I remember correctly, if memory serves me right. Of course, Mandy Rose also had a brief stint on Total Divas. So for all you Total Diva fans, she was only there for one season. She was only there for at least half a season, actually. So you got to see her almost immediately after the Tough Enough running. And so you got to see them both on NXT. You know, had a pretty decent run and not bad. But the one we were waiting for was indeed Paige. She was the one we were all waiting for. We did not know, was it Raw? Was it SmackDown? Where was she going to show up? They waited the night after the Survivor Series to bring her home into the forefront. And let me tell you, man, she looks stunning. And yes, she has that Raven exotic beauty of her, and she definitely was playing the naughty little minx tonight. She was like, "Did you miss me?" I think a million people around the world, I don't care who you are, from Derek Ferreira to Megan Silva, the first lady of the wrestling forum, to, when Mike Bullock, I know you probably missed her in a certain light. I definitely missed her. Yes, we missed you, Paige. Welcome back. Welcome home. For me, it's a little bit of a Debbie Downer because I wanted to see you on SmackDown Live, but apparently Raw needed you more. Fine. But plus, on top of that, she was originally drafted to Monday Night Raw during the when they did the draft. She was drafted to Raw during the not the actual show, but during the WWE Network special, the after when they were announcing all the remaining draftees. So she went to Raw. That's how it played out. I was a little down. I was a little down with it, but it was cool. And instantly, social media went ablaze after they did. They were like, okay, Sonya and Mandy, fine, we're cool with it, but over Liv Morgan, over Ruby Riott, and what happened to that? And wait a minute, why not the iconic duo? When we mean the iconic duo, you know what we mean. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. Why did they not debut tonight? All right, hold on, time out, T, because apparently if this is true what Matt Ward is saying, now I don't know if this is accurate or not, but he's already calling it, saying, don't worry about the iconic duo. We'll see them very soon on SmackDown Live. Now, Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott, what's going to happen with them? Now, remember, Ruby, I believe, Peyton Royce and Ruby Riott both fought for the NXT Women's title that went down on Saturday night in Houston at War Games. And yet they haven't gotten the big call up yet. Well, we'll see. Liv Morgan hasn't gotten the call up yet either. But look at what they did. And I'll steal a line from Derek Ferreira because he's already calling this group PMS. And I will say this. Look out. And I even said it on my social media on Facebook. Paige is back. She brought backup, and they have put the entire Raw locker room on notice. They destroyed Bayley. They destroyed Mickie James. They took out Sasha Banks. They scared Alicia Fox all the way to the back. And then they destroyed the WWE Raw Women's Champion, Alexa Bliss. They're not playing any games. They're in for one reason and one reason only: destruction. Paige and her new crew, they just put the Raw Women's division under siege. Anthony Florio, it's all yours.
Oh man, wow. I don't know where to begin. Paige received the pop of the night, obviously, for her return, only to apparently turn heel. And yes, MF, you're right. I mean, I was just as surprised as you are to see Sonya Deville, aka Daria Baronato from the Tough Enough a couple years ago, and Mandy Rose. Yes, I'll admit it, MF, you're absolutely correct on that. Another one of my quote unquote personal favorites, if you know what I mean. So, and I'll admit it. I mean, I was marking when I saw her. And yes, and like I said, I was surprised to see Deville and Rose called up ahead of some of the other women in NXT, like your Liv Morgans and your Billie Kays and your Peyton Royces and your Ruby Riotts and some others. But I will say this, it was very nice to see them shake things up a bit, because I was just thinking about how stale and boring and predictable the Raw women's title picture was looking, with three wrestlers in Bayley, Mickie, and Sasha competing for yet another shot, and another in Alicia Fox, whose character is so silly and crazy as a pet coon that it honestly should not be anywhere near the title, let alone a sniff of it. But the Raw Women's division, I mean, oh boy, it just really, really got shaken up now. Now that you got Paige back in there a week late, but Paige did kind of spoil it a week ago, posting photos on her Instagram, her backstage hanging out with Alicia Fox and Renee Young. And I think that's pretty much the reason why they held her off of that show and maybe let alone out of the Survivor Series. And that's why Bayley, got the last spot. But now Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose now added to the women's division. I mean, 3 new entries into the women's division in one found swoop. I mean, wow. Can't believe it. I mean, just yeah, talk about a shakeup indeed. So now what's gonna happen? Now who's gonna be the next to face Alexa for the women's championship down the road? I don't know. But man alive, I mean, that was unreal. So another segment of the night, absolutely. So okay, back to the cutouts here. Braun Strowman, Jason Jordan, um, that got thrown out. Minute 55 seconds. This was the worst fight of the night. Nobody knew it, Doug. Kane showed up. Kane attacked Braun Strowman, including ramming a steel chair into Braun Strowman's throat. Yeah, I'm not even gonna, comment on that. I mean, this was the worst fight of the night. That's all I'm saying on that. And the Jason Jordan heel turn is obviously continuing. He's now faking injuries to go along with being manipulating and whiny. So, yeah, so that's all I can say there. Then we move on to an 8-man tag team cruiserweight match. Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander, Akira Tozawa, and Mustafa Ali squaring off against the Zoe Train, Noam Dar, Tony Nese, Arya Davari, Drew Gulak with Enzo Amore, and the babyface team, Swann, Alexander, Tozawa, and Ali. They win the match. I don't have a time of the fall, but what I do know is this to me was the 4th best fight of the night here. 2 3/4, teetering on 3 stars for this one. Solid match for me here. There was some good action throughout. Is that how I rated it? Yeah. No, I didn't go 425. I thought it was longer than that. I thought it would have been a little longer than 425. Maybe that was TV time. I think there was a commercial break during this, but for me, like I said, this was a solid cruiserweight match. Spot fest. Call it a spot fest if you will. But still, I thought this was a solid cruiserweight match. Like I said, there was some good action throughout. Yeah, I believe I said this was 2 3/4 stars. But nonetheless, I mean, solid match. So, MF, I don't know if you want to get into it or not, but this was a solid 8-man cruiserweight match, and who knows what this means for the cruiserweight division now. I mean, who's going to be the next challenger? Obviously, they moved on from Kalisto.
I mean, it was okay for what it was worth, and I guess you could say, you saw the 4 guys who possibly has an opportunity at it. From Akira Tozawa, who's actually a former cruiserweight champion himself. They could do Mustafa Ali. I know there was a little bit of some, back and forth about that. He was getting with Enzo right at the very beginning, and a lot of people thought maybe he gets the opportunity. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened yet. And then, you got Rich Swann, who's, maybe he gets the opportunity. And then, of course, the one that I think we all want to see get the shot is the one and only Cedric Alexander. I mean, CA. I mean, how on earth does he not get an opportunity yet? And so we're hoping that maybe he's the next in line, and hopefully he's the one that's gonna be the one to get the opportunity at the title. So we'll wait and see what happens. But for me, that's all I'm going to say about that. Floyo, it's yours.
Yeah, and then there was something with Elias and Matt Hardy. We're not going to get into that. That was a trifle unnecessary, if I do say so myself. Now let's get to the main event. Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship on the line. The Miz defending against Roman Reigns. Winner of the match, in 16 minutes and 25 seconds. And the new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns, wins it with the spear. Whoa, MF, the big dog, now adds another championship to his trophy case to go with his 3 WWE championships, a United States championship, a Royal Rumble, and now he can add the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship to his trophy case. What a match.
Fight of the night, hands down, without a doubt. 3.5 stars for me. This was a great matchup, great battle. Near falls left and right. The Bar tried to come in to screw Roman Reigns. The Shield comes out to play to basically play interception on that. And at the end, it was what we expected. A great matchup. Miz almost stole the fight with the skull-crushing finale. Roman kicks out of that, gets a spear right at the end. 1, 2, 3, new champion crown. History made in Houston tonight, and I could not be any more happier. They did a great job with this match. Unbelievable way to end it. And, like I said, it's a crowning of a new champion. So it is definitely a great moment for Roman. And I heard he's a Grand Slam champion too. So congratulations, Roman Reigns, on becoming a Grand Slam champ. So he's practically, I know a lot of people are going to be like, it's the belt maybe is kind of beneath them, but at the moment and at the time, if you're not going to have him push for the big title for the Universal, at least give him this opportunity. Let him run for the belt a little bit. He'll eventually lose it, and then you can have him focus on the Universal title and obviously that big fight with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, because hint, hint, wink, wink, that's probably the plans as of now, but we'll wait and see. But no, for me, I'm happy. I'm thrilled. I got nothing bad to say. Anthony, it's yours.
I'm glad you brought up that Grand Slam thing, MF. I mean, you're absolutely right. I forgot Roman was a tag team champion as well. That's right. Him and Rollins a few years ago. That's right. So technically, yes, Roman Reigns is indeed a Grand Slam champion with a tag team title, the WWE Championship on 3 occasions, the US title, and now the Intercontinental Heavyweight title. So, well done, big dog. Well done, sir. 100% agree, MF. This was the fight of the night. No doubt about it. 3.5 to 4 stars. That's my rating for it. I mean, near fall after near fall, Shakespearean drama. Crowd was hyped. I mean, very good match with The Miz working more like a credible opponent more than a chicken bleep heel. Not sure why they decided to put this title on Roman at this point. It will be interesting to see if there's a real plan in place for this or if it's as random as it felt. Is the idea to maybe book a Universal Champion versus Intercontinental Champion match at WrestleMania? That might be a little out there, but something to think about. Main event was newsworthy due to the title change, and that's really all I can say about that. So pretty much we covered everything on this. I mean, this was indeed the fight of the night, no doubt about it. 3.5 to 4 stars, stole the show. Shakespearean drama. I mean, you know how much we love that. So, all right, let's get into our overall review of Monday Night Raw tonight. Like I said, the main event was newsworthy due to the title change, obviously, but I kind of feel the show was a little bit of a letdown, kind of a little flat. I'm going to give this between maybe 6 and 6.5 because we did have 3 quality matches here. Miz and Roman stole the show, obviously. And then you had another great match with Finn Balor and Samoa Joe, an equally good match with Sheamus and Dean Ambrose. Those are the 3 fights of the night. Then you throw in the return of Paige and the surprising debuts of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville as a brand new heel women's stable. So I can definitely get with that. And then you had that great Miz TV segment and solid opening segment and everything else, but all the other matches were bleh. I overscored the cruiserweight match. I do apologize for that. That was another one of the low lights of the night. That was only a 1-star match for me. That was a 4-minute 25-second match. That really should have been a cutout, but it is what it is. But yeah, so what happens now? We'll find out. 6 to 6.5 out of 10. Solid, but not overly spectacular follow to Survivor Series. But it was a newsworthy show, though, with Roman Reigns winning the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship and the return of Paige, plus the surprising debuts of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. So 6.5 out of 10. I think that's the best I can go. So how about it, MF? How did Raw do following their big night last night?
6 out of 10. I think you're absolutely right. This was kind of average to say the very least. Even though, yes, we do have a crowning of a new Intercontinental Champion in Roman Reigns. Like you said, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, and Paige make their debut or return respectively. You had the solid beginning of Monday Night Raw with the Authority, with Angle, with Strowman, with Jason Jordan. I kind of think that was definitely a great way to start the show. And as far as everything else goes, it was fine for what it was worth, but there was definitely a lot of bad on the show. The Cruiserweight, the Miz TV that kind of dragged a little bit. I wasn't really too enthused about it, but it was fine for what it was worth. And then, you had a couple of other fights that really had no purpose on being on the show. Strowman and the Strowman versus Jason Jordan, that kind of turned into more of a segment than a fight, with Kane jumping out on and attacking Strowman. And then, of course, we had what was the other thing that we were talking about that we didn't really care too much about? Well, we'll just leave it at that. So, Florio, Tony's take, go ahead, it's yours.
Yeah, just setting up my notes for that, MF. Tony's take here and now. 205 Live and Impact Wrestling on target here. So, all right, you remember last week I slammed 205 Live. I said it was a terrible show. This one was better, but not that much. But we did start off with a tag team match. Brian Kendrick and Jack Gallagher. They went up against Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann. The winners of the match in just about 11 minutes, 10 minutes and 57 seconds. Alexander and Swann win the match. Cedric with the lumbar check. Fight of the night, 3.5 stars. Very good match to open the show. Great near falls and false finishes. Made the most of the time given to them. Smart way to kick off the show. No question about it. Following, because this goes on after SmackDown Live, and it came moments after Raw put SmackDown Live under siege, and great way to start that. Then you have Mustafa Ali against Ariya Daivari. Mustafa Ali wins the match, 7 minutes 20 seconds, 2.5 stars, perfectly fine match with a dead heat segment by Daivari. Ali won, which was good, but this was about every bland Daivari match you've seen. Very average. And then you had the main event, which was Kalisto against Drew Gulak. Kalisto wins in 8 minutes and 3 seconds. Worst fight of the night, 1.5 stars. Really flat and boring match, built around the tease of the cake spot. Felt about twice as long as it actually was. And then you had the cake thing at the end, so yeah, because it was Kalisto's birthday. So 6 out of 10. Overall average show. Started off very good, but faded the longer it went on. So the only thing I can honestly recommend from this show is that opening tag match, because that was really good. Maybe I'll even give you that other match with Daivari and Ali. But other than that, after that, skip it. You didn't miss anything. Trust me. Now let's move on to Impact Wrestling, and I'm going to tell you, this was one of the better shows I've seen in a while. But okay, we got Michael Bullock here. I'm going to have to hold off on that for just a moment. Michael Bullock, come on in. I need to catch you up on what happened tonight. You just barely got in here, so yeah, good thing I caught that, because fully go into my notes, but I'm glad I checked in on this. So, all right, Bug, let me get you caught up here. We had the opening segment with the Authority, technically the Authority. It looked like they were going to gloat about Survivor Series, and then interrupted by Kurt Angle, Jason Jordan, and Braun Strowman. Stephanie makes a match with Jordan and Strowman. Your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, I mean, this was a crazy segment. I mean, basically, like you said, I mean, looked like Stephanie and Triple H were going to gloat all over, and how Team Red won, but Kurt Angle came out and reiterated saying that if you jump me from behind like that again, I will retaliate. And then Jason Jordan comes out saying he wants a match with Triple H. And then out comes the monster among men, Braun Strowman, out to confront Triple H. And then Stephanie McMahon makes Braun Strowman against Jason Jordan later on. So, yeah, but I think after what we saw with the face-off, we're going to get Kurt Angle and Triple H somewhere down the line. My best bet, and this is only my guess, I would say WrestleMania, but we'll just have to wait and see. So, nice way to start it off. So let's just move on.
All right. First match, first fight of the night, Finn Balor against Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe wins it 12 minutes and 10 seconds with a Coquina clutch.
I'll give it 3 stars on the match. I mean, I thought it was a good match for what it was. So, yeah, I mean, certainly a nice way to kick off the matches portion. And of course, we've talked about so many times how they've had some really good matches, and this was another one. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So let's just move on.
And then Asuka squashed Dana Brooke in 2.5 minutes. We're not going to get into that. Miz TV segment. It was supposed to be Roman alone, but he had the Shield with him. And they had a great back and forth, and it led into a big main event, Miz and Roman for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. So what do you think about all this?
Yeah, I mean, this was another good segment here, and basically, I mean, well, first off, Rollins and Ambrose saying that they want their tag team titles back from the Bar, and Roman Reigns wants the Miz's Intercontinental Championship. So yeah, this was certainly a great way to start it. I mean, certainly a great segment here. So there's really nothing more to say. So I'm just gonna move on.
And then we had Sheamus against Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose won the match 11 minutes and 40 seconds with Dirty Deeds.
Again, this was another 3-star match. I mean, I thought that another good match here. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say. So I'm just going to move on.
Yeah, and then there was a segment with the women, Alexa Bliss, after losing to Charlotte Flair last night, and then interrupted by Mickie James, Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Alicia Fox. We're not going to get into that because it led into a 4-way match for the women's championship title shot. That didn't happen. It ended in a no contest because guess who's back?
She's back.
Paige. And she didn't come alone. She's got the new friends with her, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. How about it?
Oh my goodness. First off, I mean, it's good to see Paige back after all the drama. I mean, it's been over a year since we've seen her. And
about a year and a half.
Huh?
About a year and a half.
I mean, my goodness. I mean, it felt longer with her being out. And I'm pretty sure there's a certain somebody from our group that's probably happy about it.
Oh, he is.
And that would be one Derek Ferreira, because you know how he loves Paige. But yeah, she didn't come alone. She brought Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and boy howdy, they made an impact. I mean, taking out every single opponent in the Fatal 4-Way, and then dropping Bayley with the Rampage. So I think the three of them just sent a statement to the Raw Women's Division, including the champion herself, Alexa Bliss, because she got beaten up backstage. So yeah, Paige is back, and back in a big way. And you want to know why? Because it's her house. Damn it.
Mm-hmm. And with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, oh yeah, it'll definitely be her house soon enough. Braun Strowman and Jason Jordan, that ended in a DQ. We're not going to get into that. 8-man cruiserweight match. Face team won that. We're not going to get into that. An unnecessary segment with Elias and Matt Hardy. And now the main event. Miz and Roman Reigns for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns, the new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. He beats The Miz 16 minutes and 25 seconds. How about it, boy? New champ.
Yes, we got new champs, and we got a new champion, Roman Reigns, and now he become. I think he's now a Grand Slam champion, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So Roman Reigns now is the new Intercontinental champion. So yeah, certainly. What was the time of the fall, Florio?
16 minutes, 25 seconds.
Yeah, I think this was definitely the fight of the night. No doubt about it. 3.5 stars is my rating on the match, and certainly a great way to close out the show. So, yeah, so now let's get to my overall thoughts on the show.
Have at it.
All right, I'll give it about. Yeah, I'm gonna give it about a 7 out of 10 if I'm gonna be quite honest. I mean, yeah, we had some cutouts, but you had some quality matches. You had 2 good quality segments, and of course the return of Paige. So, and of course with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the Raw Women's Division is going to be now that you got these three. And let's just say, I mean, I think somewhere down the line, Paige is going to be coming for that Raw Women's title.
Absolutely. So, all right, Bullock. Now I'm gonna finish up my Tony's take here with my review of Impact Wrestling, and like I said, this was one of the better shows I've seen in a while. So, and we started it off with a 6-man tag team match in the X Division. X Division champion Trevor Lee with Kayla Connolly and Taiji Ishimori. They went up against Desmond Xavier, Sanjay Dutt, and Garza Jr. The face team, Xavier, Dutt, and Garza, win it in 6 minutes and 50 seconds. 2 3/4 stars. Overall, pretty good opening match. Nice way to start the show. It just needed a hot closing stretch to take it to the next level. And I'm hoping that the X Division starts to lock in some programs for these guys soon instead of these just random matches. Impact Grand Championship on the line. EC3 against Falaba. EC3 wins it at 2.5 minutes into the third round. Worst fight of the night, 2 stars. It was okay at best, with Ba coming out of nowhere to be way too competitive with EC3. I get that EC3 will do anything to win, but needed to cheat against Ba just felt wrong. They really have no clue what to do with EC3 right now. He feels like a complete mid-card guy, and I'm all for giving a guy a shot, but they could have at least built up Falaba first. We had another 6-man tag, LAX, Ortiz, Santana, and Homicide against OVE and Sami Callihan. LAX wins the match in 13 minutes and 2 seconds. Second best fight of the night. Another 2 3/4, teetering on 3 stars. Another pretty good match, but considering the rivalry and what they've been through, it really lacked the heat and hate that they have been trying to sell. Came up as too much of a regular 6-man instead of a battle between 6 men that can't stand each other. Then you had the windbag talking segment of the night, Dan Lambert and the ATT, along with Bobby Lashley, but interrupted by Moose and James Storm. I'll say it like this. It was a strong, glowing promo from Lambert to follow up on Bound for Glory. The feud will continue. Moose looking for revenge, and now he has a fired up James Storm at his side for a wrestling match. And Storm cut a very great, emotional, and fiery babyface promo here. His farewell tour begins. That was the only good thing that came out of that, James Storm. Then, and then we had the another in-ring segment, but this was a far away better one. It was the farewell segment for Gail Kim. You know, Gail Kim relinquishing the Knockouts Championship after winning it in her farewell match at Bound for Glory against Allie and Sienna. This was the segment of the night. Very nice, classy, and thankfully not overbooked goodbye for Gail. And now the company has to move on without her, which is something that they really needed to do in order to grow the Knockouts division. Gail was great, don't get me wrong, but she was always that safety net that they went back to when they really didn't need to. But that's all I can say there. And now the main event of the evening, Global Championship on the line. Champion Eli Drake defending against Petey Williams. Winner of the match in 17 minutes and 36 seconds. And still the Impact Global Champion, Eli Drake, winning it with the gravy train. Fight of the night. 3.5 to 4 stars. Very good main event. And it played the right way. They kept the Chris Adonis stuff, to the Chris Adonis interference to a minimum. Gave Petey a ton of hope spots to keep the Canadian crowd interested. And then that one great near fall with the Canadian Destroyer. From there, they worked a fun series of counters, leading to Eli retaining clean. And these are the kind of matches Drake needs, not the cliche heel BS. Petey Williams perfectly filled the role of Challenger of the Week, playing into his home country crowd and giving us a break until Johnny Impact and or Alberto El Patron are back in the picture. So, nothing more to say. This was a 7 out of 10. Overall good show. Pretty good undercard wrestling overall. 2 good and strong promo segments with James Storm and Gail Kim. And that very good world title main event. So, well done. Like I said, one of the better shows I've seen in a long time. A very long time. That's all I can say on that. So, now we can just keep putting together shows like this every week. And we could actually talk about you boys having a fighting chance. So, yes, there will be an Impact Wrestling show on Thanksgiving night. For anybody who cares or interested, Taiji Ishimori will square off against Hakeem Sane. Cowboy James Storm will go up against Tejano. Matt Sydal will go up against Tyson Dukes. And then, I can't believe I'm saying this, the turkey suit match is back, folks. Yep, unfortunately, we're getting this nonsense again. But the way they're booking this is a little interesting, though. A 5-on-5, 10-person intergender match. Eddie Edwards, Garza Jr., Falaba, the standby wrestler Richard Justice, and Ali. They're going to square off against Chris Adonis, El Hijo del Fantasma, Caleb Connolly, KM, and Laurel Van Ness. And whoever eats the fall has to don the suit. So that's all I can say on that. So that's it. So we're going to do something different here. I know we usually do shout outs at the end of this, but for this week only, I want to save it for our football feast because after all, it is Thanksgiving. And I think we should save the shout outs for after our football feast show on Wednesday night. So I'm sure you boys are more than okay with that. So
I'm fine with it.
I mean, after all, it is Thanksgiving week after all.
Oh, exactly.
So we're just gonna save our shout outs for Wednesday night for our football feast show. So I just want to end it here. So and that's what we're gonna do. So Ridiculously Raw for this week is in the books. I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. And of course, let's run down the docket. But I'm gonna give it to MF. MF, what can we expect tomorrow night on Cerebral Smack Talk?
Well, basically, we got SmackDown Live. We got the recap from Survivor Series and what's going to be SmackDown's response for what happened at Survivor Series? You know, they did sting a few defeats. What is going to be the dynamic about that? Plus, what's going to happen with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and what is their punishment going to be for what happened? Basically, getting involved in the 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match, trying to uh, basically sabotage SmackDown Live from winning the Survivor Series. Of course, there's probably going to be a lot of gloating and celebration. Of course, Charlotte Flair beating Alexa Bliss, uh, Baron Corbin beating The Miz, and of course, we will also have possibly some gloating coming out of the actually US one, the women's one, and the Usos, but solidifying themselves as the greatest tag team in WWE by beating the Bar and winning in the War of the Tag Team titles. And then, of course, we got is the ultimate one. I went and I witnessed the RWA Thanksgiving Throwdown, and we're gonna get into the result on that as well. Nothing more to say. 10:30 Eastern. Until then, Mike Fletcher, you know the routine. 100 pounds. I'm out. Anthony, take it home.
All right, MF. We'll look forward to that tomorrow night on the Cerebral Smack Talk at 10:30. You basically heard him run down the slate, so looking forward to that. And then at 10:30 on Wednesday night, it is going to be our, I believe this will be our 6th annual Strictly Sports Football Feast. We're gonna preview the 3 Thanksgiving games in the NFL, and then we're gonna run down the college slate. Rivalry weekend. This is where this is the rivalry. This is the biggest weekend of college football yet. Headlined, of course, by the most anticipated Iron Bowl maybe ever, with Alabama and Auburn, with the winner clinching the SEC West and going on for a date with the Major Georgia Bulldogs for the SEC championship. So get into that. Of course, Ohio State and Michigan. I mean, so many great rivalry games to get into, but those are the 2 headliners, obviously. So, but plenty more. And that'll be Wednesday night for Football Feast. Off on Thursday because of Thanksgiving. We're not doing any shows on Thanksgiving. And then we'll be back on Friday night for NFL Friday to run down the rest of the NFL slate. So, and then back here next week for Ridiculously Raw. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk over on MF channel Braves 395. It's your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Floyer here for good old MF Michael Fletcher. And in spirit, our First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson. And of course, the hardcore pipe on himself, Falcon Striker 445, Derek Ferrera. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. Until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tunnel 25 on YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio. So long.